So here we have this puzzle to fill in the missing symbols in the finite projected plane. So let me just show you what the whole thing looks like. Here's one example of what it would look like if you have all the pieces. And so if we look back here, for example, we have, a certain collection. And in this case, the collection happens to be, what's common to all these, you see this up arrow filled in triangle, and it happens to be brown, but you can ignore the colors. It's the filled in triangle with the up arrow. So we can go back to the down here, and for example, we can move all these down here, so the filled in up arrow brown triangle can be the final row. Okay, so the object of the game then is to put all these in the right order, and they're already in the right order in this picture. Okay, so over here you could literally take all the symbols off the question in the exam, and then you could just line them up and it would magically work. Okay, I'm going to pause the video so I can do that, so I can demonstrate what's going on. Okay, see, now I've solved it according to I just actually took all the tiles in the exam, and I placed them all in the correct order on the website, and you could tell which is which even though there's pieces missing. And so I want to show you first of all what it means to be solved. And I want you to see first down here, this particular row has something in common. It has these these brown filled in triangles with up arrows. Okay, so what you can do to solve this puzzle is you can first pull off from the whole set a set of 6 tiles that have a particular symbol in common. In this case, it's this particular symbol. Then what you can do is you can arrange these 6 tiles however you like. And in this case, I'm going to use the first tile to guide a certain kind of progress, and the second tile to guide another certain kind of progress, and so on and so forth. So first of all, what does the first tile do? Well, the first tile, actually, let's look at the second tile because it's easier to see because it's almost all the same color. The second tile is going to give me common columns. So you see this circle empty up arrow. It's giving me this column. Then I'm going to have a filled circle up arrow. That's going to give me the second column, and so on and so forth. So each one of these symbols, and then here's the red empty square with a plus. Okay, so this guy is its own column. So this whole tile guides the progress of these columns, and of course there's no such column with this particular triangle symbol, the filled in triangle symbol. Why? Well, because this is the symbol common to this extra line down at the bottom. Okay, so now we go back and say, well, what's common to this row up here? See this green empty square with a minus in it. Okay, we've got, this is the symbol down in here. So all the symbols down in here have to make up these parallel sets. Okay, and so even if I just mess up any one of these little combinations, this would spoil the puzzle. But these guys I can swap around. Those don't matter. Okay. What else? Okay, so I think most of my students understand what happens with the first 2 tiles, but then the rest of the tiles there's a little bit of confusion. So each one of these tiles is representative of a particular family of lines in the grid above. And so the third tile, for example, is giving me a slope -1. Every one of these, except of course this magic, what I call infinity symbol. This is the special infinity symbol. I know this is infinity over here, but for this setup, this is the infinity symbol. Okay? And so all these other symbols are going to lie in the -1 lines in the main grid. And so you see this red empty circle with a plus in it, and see how that line is right here. But there's not just 4 in the line, we're on a torus, so we wrap around up to here. So if you're stepping over, down, over, down, over, down, over, down, whoops, you fall off, and then you end up back up at the top. Okay? And the next tile over is you could think of it as, let's say, look at this green empty circle. Here's a green empty circle, here's another green empty circle. The relationship, you could think of up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. But we don't tend to think of it that way. At least I have not been doing it that way. I think of it as, well, let me start over here. Let's start at this one. Over 1, down 2. So I'm calling this slope negative 2. Over 1, down 2. Over 1, down 2. Over 1, down 2. So you can look at these relationships in more than one way, but once you set up that pattern, whatever pattern is between the green circles, green empty circles, that same relationship will be between the blue filled in circles. So for example, let's see, let's start over here. Blue filled in circle with the X. Right, down 2, right, down 2, right, down 2. And you may say, why didn't you just use letters of the alphabet? Well, I wanted you to be able to see that, say over here, I'm going to lose all my progress, but anyway, I wanted you to be able to see in this particular setup, it's very easy to see. I wanted all filled in circles to be one family, all empty circles to be another family, the filled in squares to be a family. I wanted this to be visually comprehensible. And so if you want to just study the basic structure, look at it, look at this picture and study it to try to get what all these families of lines are doing. And then you can go back to the puzzle and then you can mix up whatever you want. Oh, I didn't lose my progress. How wonderful. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the exercise at hand. Okay. So what we want to do is I don't have any colors that aren't already here. Maybe this color? I don't think, yeah, I can't, all the colors are here. But anyway, let me just use red, I guess. So I want to just say, since this is already solved, what I need to do is figure out what the method is behind this madness. And if I notice anything, for example, I notice that these two symbols are the same. That's all my eye picks up. Then I think, okay, if those two symbols are the same, then they must be on a card somewhere down below. And they are. And this is showing these two guys are in a line together, so once we start the pattern, we have to continue it. And so this must be the vertical line family. And it is. This is the vertical line family. Okay, so I've got the vertical line family going over there. So which one is the horizontal line family? Now you may think that when I make up these exercises I'm being really mean, but I'm not. I'm actually trying to make them easy. So if I look at this, I have a horizontal family going on here. So this must be the horizontal lines card over there. And maybe I think, okay, wait a minute, I'm starting to understand something here. This symbol, hey, gray, I'm not using gray. This symbol is the same. This must be the magic infinity symbol. Okay, so the infinity symbol is actually a gray, I'm sorry, it's a triangle with an up arrow. And what I had told my students on the exam is if they wanted to indicate, this empty symbol, this picture means this symbol. So that's not what I want to draw. But if I want to draw this symbol, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just embolden the outside. And now I've indicated this symbol. So I'm going to just do this and this. Okay, now that's the way I would hand draw this symbol. Okay, so I've got the two infinity symbols now taken care of, and I want to look at some other empty spaces. Well, maybe I'm not quite ready. You know what? I want to figure out what all the families are down below. So let me do that first. So this symbol I see here and here and here and here and here. So that must be the slope equals -1 family. So I can just label that for myself. Wonder where the slope equals 1 family is. Aha, here it is. I found between these two cards we have a common symbol, and that's great because I wanted to find the missing symbol here anyway, and I just did. So great, that's awesome. And at the same time, I figured out that these guys are the slope equals 1 set. So good, one problem solved. That means I just have a slope 2 and slope -2 to figure out. So let's see, I've got slope equals 2 has got to be in here. There we go. All I have to do is take two cards that are slope 2 in a slope 2 relationship and then see what the common symbol is between those two cards. So slope is equal to 2 here. And you may say, well, does that work? Yes, because here's another slope 2 situation. Okay, they work too, so that's fine. We found the slope 2 card. And so the other one must be -2, but let's just verify that. Yep, this is a slope 2. These cards are -2 from each other. And how do we know positive slope? So if we go like this, it's +1, and if we go like this, it's -1. It's in the same direction as you read, from left to right. Here's your starting point. So if you go up as you go from left to right, that's a +1, and if you go right as you go down as you go from left to right, then that's a -1 situation. And if you're going up steeper, the steeper situation, you have a +2 and a -2 relationship. So in this case, as you go from left to right, you're going in a you're going down, and so so that's your -2. So we've actually done most of the puzzle, even though we haven't answered the question. This problem is one of these things where it's really front heavy, and it takes a lot less time to do it than it takes for me to explain it on the video. But once you get it, it's really fast. Okay, so let's see. We could just use this process of saying, okay, there's a missing symbol, let's search for it. But that is the long way to do the puzzle. It works, but it's the long way. So instead of doing that, what we do is we go through each of these cards and each of these symbols, and we try to figure out, I'm going to erase this marking and this marking. We don't need those anymore. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for each of the horizontal symbols and each of the vertical symbols and so on and so forth until I've checked to see that each symbol is present. Okay, so for example, this guy. Are all these guys present? Present and accounted for? Yep, they're all good, so I'm not worried about them. Of course, I'm not going to draw on the whole thing. But what about this symbol? Yep, they're all present. Go to the next one. Those guys are all present. Purple dudes. Oh, there's a missing purple dude. There we go. He's back now. Okay, then we're good. So the horizontal sets are all taken care of. Now we look for the vertical sets. Okay, we're missing this right here. We are missing a red empty square with a plus in it. Okay, so that is now taken care of. What about the other vertical symbols? We know we have this guy, that guy's taken care of. Oops, there's a vertical symbol missing here. So I'm going to fill him in. Again, the color is just for convenience. You could make this whole thing monochrome and it still would not be a problem. So the colors are to assist you, not to distract you. So if you're colorblind, there's no problem. But just, if you want to draw a symbol, if it's empty, you write it that way. The same symbol, but the filled in version, just draw it that way. And then the color doesn't matter. Any color you write in is fine. Okay, so let's see. No, we didn't do the negative ones yet. Let's look for the purple circles. We already knew they were there. Okay, what about this guy, the filled in square with the X in it? They're all present. Empty triangle with a minus. Whoops, empty triangle with a minus is missing. We've got one there. Now this could be a tricky problem because this one could have been missing. This would be the hardest one for students to get because they would see this set of 4 and they wouldn't think to check that box down there. I usually don't try to be that tricky, but it's a perfectly valid thing to do. Okay, all right, so red plus. We got all the red pluses. And what about the empty square with the arrow? We have 2 of them up here, 3 of them here. We're good to go. Okay, what about the -2 collection? We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these guys, so that's fine. And let's see if we have 5 of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And then what about these guys? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't even have to check to see if they're in the right place because I promised you it was already solved. Okay, what about this guy? 1. Aha, he's missing. He is missing. He is missing. Ding, 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 ding. Now they're all present. Okay, now I'll go to the slope equals 1. Okay, let's start with this symbol. Do we have 5 of these guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We already found that missing guy before. This one is the infinity symbol. What about this guy? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's present accounted for. This guy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's good. We just checked him. I think we did. I think those are all good. So whatever else is missing is probably a 2 family. Okay, so let's look at the infinity symbol. There's an infinity symbol in every column except the middle column, so that's suspicious. So there's obviously a missing infinity symbol. So we look in the second column, and yep, if you go up 2 and over 1, there's a missing infinity symbol. And there's some more missing symbol right there. There's a missing symbol. So let's go down and over to this element. We have this card, and we want to see what's common. See the 2 arrows? I want to see what's common between this card and this card. And this is the symbol which is in common. So I made a mistake because that 2 element is there. So this purple guy is where he belongs. So there's some other card missing. Maybe I didn't check the 1 card very closely. Let's look. What's common between this card and this card? Did I forget? Nope. The slope equals 1 guy is there. So what's happened is I've been a little bit sloppy, and I've overlooked 1 possible card. When I was doing my inventory, I must have glanced over somebody a little too fast, and so now I'm forced to go to plan B, which is to take this card here with the missing symbol and then look, does it have a horizontal family? Let's see. It has a, oh, it's missing its horizontal family. How stupid. That was the first thing I checked. Okay, so if that hadn't been the missing symbol, I would have said, okay, does it have a member of the horizontal family? Does it have a vertical family member, a +1, a -1, a +2, a -2? And I would have had to do the inventory 1 at a time. And you can do that for every single card, but it's a lot slower to do it that way. But if you have just 1 card with 1 missing symbol, then it becomes more efficient to just do it that way for that 1 particular card. Okay, so now what I can do is I can just check the web to see if I did this correctly. Again, this problem takes more time to explain than to actually do it. So here's my symbol. I'm correct over here. And let's see, this guy. Oh. Did I not line them up the same way? Oh, it's the same. No, it's okay. Okay, so this guy is here. This guy is over here. And I'm just double checking real. Yep, that one's right. That one's down here. This one's down here. Yep, so I'm just visually checking that all these guys that I promised you, they are indeed correct. Okay, and so you can do exactly the same thing I just did, and then you'll be a complete expert on this. Thanks for listening.